Stablecoin TerraUSD collapses to 30 cents and Emirates Boeing 787 deliveries to be delayed by at least a year. You're watching the Daily Brief with Forbes. I'm Ramia Farrage. Stablecoin TerraUSD, a digital token that's meant to be pegged 1-to-1 to the US dollar, collapsed to 30 cents today. Do Kwon, co-founder of Terraform Labs, the company behind the token, tweeted, "I understand the last 72 hours have been extremely tough on all of you. Know that I am resolved to work with every one of you to weather this crisis, and we will build our way out of this." Emirates says it won't receive its Boeing 787 Dreamliners in 2023 and may not even receive its first until 2025 due to production issues at the U.S. plane maker. Officials say it's because Boeing still haven't recommenced production. Boeing suspended deliveries nearly a year ago over structural flaws, but some analysts believe deliveries would resume in the second half of this year. Russian gas transiting Ukraine for Europe dropped today after Kyiv said it's suspending flows along the key route. The move fuels fears that gas supplies to Europe via Ukraine will be cut off. Ukraine's pipeline operator says it's halting gas transport at the Sokran-Ivka transit point as Russian occupying forces are now in control and are interfering with operations. The operator promised to temporarily reroute all supplies via another crossing point to fulfill its transit obligations to European partners. The European Central Bank should raise interest rates as part of its attempt to control inflation. That's according to ECB policymakers who say the euro area's annual inflation rose to 7.5% in April, more than triple the bank's 2% target. Several measures will be discussed at the forthcoming ECB meeting on June 9th, including ending bond purchases a few weeks earlier than the bank's agreed July period, as well as discussions over a possible interest hike. President Biden says his administration is discussing dropping some tariffs imposed on Chinese goods as the U.S. seeks to combat inflation. Biden says the administration is currently discussing canceling some China tariffs imposed under former President Trump. Biden was speaking during a White House address on tackling inflation, saying it's his top domestic priority. U.S. inflation rose to 8.5% for the 12 months ended March, the largest annual increase since 1981. TUI, the world's largest tourism operator, says it expects to return to profitability this year as coronavirus fears ease and travel picks up. Between January and March, 1.9 million customers traveled with TUI. That's nearly 10 times more than over the same period last year when pandemic restrictions kept people at home. TUI says it's close to reaching pre-COVID capacity after recording a heavy net loss of almost $2.6 billion in its last financial year. Apple is discontinuing the iPod more than 20 years after the device became the face of portable music and kickstarted its meteoric evolution into the world's biggest company. Since its launch in 2001, the iPod took on a storm of competing music players before being eclipsed by smartphones, online music streaming, and by the rise of the iPhone. The iPod Touch, the only version of the portable music player still being sold, will be available until supplies last. I'm Ramia Farrage. This is the Daily Brief. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow.